because most people refer to me as a griot, a storyteller. I connect people. I have done that always since I was a little kid. You know, I was the kid in school that was friends with everybody, even the ones who weren't the most popular kids. I made sure I knew what was happening with them too. So I think that I've always been like that. As a little kid, I always looked at the whole picture, and I think that describes me pretty well.
Yes,
because everything is important to me. Every little thing is important. I should have been a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer. In fact, the name of my book would be "On My Way to Law School, I Met a Tap Dancer." That's the name of my book.
Yeah, I love it.
That I'm working on, actually.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Right now, so that, you know, as a kid, you know, I danced because I had polio, and my mother thought that would be helpful for me to shape my legs and to strengthen my legs. So I didn't have a choice about that. But once I got involved in that, I realized what I liked about that. I liked the interaction with people. I loved going to dancing school because I love to be with people. Social interacting has always been a part of my life and important to me. And I always can find myself in any situation. I am very clear about where and who I am in any situation.
Yes.
So I love to be in situations.
Yes, I resonate with that because when I met you, I was going inward because I was like 19, 18, 19. I was going inward because outside of my door was all of this crazy stuff going on in Roxbury. So I got into the arts through school, but I tapped, no pun intended, tapped into the legacy of the arts through you first, really, and then others along the way. And so I would say my legacy is that I'm tapping into the legacy of the arts. The legacy of hip-hop. Hip-hop was around 10 years before I got into it, right? So by the time I came along with hip-hop, it had already mushroomed into this incredible art form in New York. So even starting that breakdance crew, we were tapping into something that was older than us. It had been around a while. So I say this not to minimize the idea of legacy, but just to say, I don't ever want to think that what I'm doing is starting something new. I know that what I'm doing is connected to something very precious and old. Now, not old
but
like
you've always known that, and you've always respected that.
Yes.
And that was what I found amazing about you, was the respect that you had for the history. I give generously and intentionally, emotionally. I don't have a lot of, I'm not speaking about finances or assets, because I don't have a lot of that to give, but I give a lot of myself. And sometimes you feel unappreciated, or you think people don't understand it, because I overly do. And every once in a while someone says, "Thank you." And I have collected all of the thank yous, and now I have like a tremendous amount of thank. That was always really important to me. That meant more than any other thing. So I have every little thank you note or card or present or whatever that I've ever gotten along the way as an artist. And that is what's most important to me in my own personal life of being an artist. Those are the things that I've collected over the years. And I save them all because my idea is that someday I'll be able to just sit and read them all and reflect on them. I don't know, the collection has gotten to be quite massive, but that's what I hope my legacy is that people remember that I gave. I never thought I would meet the people that I did in my lifetime. I mean, I'm watching the movies. I watch Nicholas Brothers, for example. I watch, Gregory Hines and all of them, all of the very famous tap dancers. Donald O'Connor. I mean, I never thought, and Donald O'Connor and I have done shows together. You know, I just, I don't know. I just never thought I would meet the people that I did.
If you think about it, I don't know how to answer this question really, because to me, history is defined by the people who write about it. So whoever's going to write the history has to know either me or people who knew me, or it has to be more accurate than just, oh, he did this and he did that and he did this. What I'm clear about is at the time that I was coming up, Boston was going through this huge change. That Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, all the so-called black communities weren't black at one point. They were white communities that turned into black communities, but when I came up, they were black communities. And how it had plummeted in terms of just stuff that was going on in the hood. And so when hip-hop and theater was embraced, I was, for some reason, always in the middle of it. Like you said earlier about being in the middle of things. I was always in the middle of the thing. Like I always met the person. Like New Edition, I hung out with New Edition. The New Kids on the Block, I was there when I knew all those guys separately. I knew them from different things. When I met you, I mean, who would have known that you would have been at the center of the tap dance revival in the way that you were and still are, right? I didn't know that. My mother didn't know that. So, and then Elaine Corey, I mean, she was the quintessential Boston youth theater advocate, right? So we met these people all at a time when they were really about to do the thing. So when I think of the history, books, I have to say, well, in order for that person or persons, whoever's writing it, they're going to have to find someone who knew Elaine, or they're going to have to know someone who knows Dianne. They're going to have to know people in order to get an accurate understanding, because you all were changing the game. When I met you, you all were changing the game.
Yeah.
George Faison, he was changing the game when I met him. I could go down the list of the people. That's also connected to the legacies that I've connected into.